you gotta give it to the Prince of Egypt. I don't even know what the other one is, but the Prince of Egypt.
Moments later.
I am going to judge God.
Generic control in the theduckgoesmoo. We're back with a nostalgia critic video. Today we're doing old versus new, the 10 Commandments versus the Prince of Egypt, which last week I reacted to the Prince of Egypt by Nostalgia Critic. I never even heard of the movie until people were talking about it in the comment section, so I was like, okay, let's do that, and you all love that video so much. There are so many moments of people just making fun of me. There at one comment I talked about me being from the moon. Which moon? I thought I was from a lab. I have no idea. It was hilarious to read. I read every single comment, so leave them down below. You can check out the Prince of Egypt reaction. I'll leave it right up there. Also, a link down below in the description. Also, going to place on my channel with all my other nostalgia critic videos. Go in chronological order if you can check those out. I hope you're having a wonderful day. At the end of last week's video, he did the charity shout out for, I think it was what, Central Illinois Food Bank. And what I do when he has a charity shout out is whatever that video makes in the first day, I donate that to the charity for the charity shout out. So that video in the first day made a whopping $18.61, and for some reason the Central Illinois Food Bank doesn't send like an email or anything like that, so I literally have a screenshot from my bank statement saying how much I marked out my card number, obviously, and the date for that. But I do that is just kind of like a thank you for all the people watching the videos, and it's just the first day, which is when the video is going to make the most money. But as I'm not in it for the money, it's a way, so when you watch the video and you watch the ads and stuff like that, you know that it's going towards something if you're watching on the first day. If not, you're going towards me, and I just paid my taxes last night. Hey, I'm trying to buy a house. Things are crazy. I hope you have a wonderful day. Hopefully I pay a tiny little better. I couldn't do stuff like that if it wasn't for my patrons like these people right down here, and they get the videos day early. The lab I have a paywall on channel. I've kept the prices the same. I'm completely against paywalls as well, and this is going to be an interesting video because I've never seen the 10 Commandments, and I learned what the Prince of Egypt was last week. But let's go ahead and jump into old versus new. All right.
Hello.
Okay, this is old.
Remember it so you don't have to.
This is old.
Welcome to another rendition of old versus new.
And also to people that say, why don't you just watch the movie or react to it? I don't have time to sleep.
Seeing how we're so close to Thanksgiving, I thought it'd be great if we talked about a pair of Thanksgiving movies. Also,
the fact that I put that video out on Passover is kind of crazy.
I think Moses carved a turkey once. I forget it. It's a 10 Commandments. In 1956, one of the greatest directors of all time, Cecil B. DeMille, made one of the most famous films of all time, The 10 Commandments. Actually, it was a remake of his already popular epic from the 1920s. I guess he just wanted to up the epicness. And I know I should probably do an old versus new on these two films,
kind of
crazy. They both had the same director, I think it's kind of cheating. The 56 version is of course considered a classic, and no major studio would dare try to top it. That is until DreamWorks came along and tried to tell the same story as an animated musical.
It is beautifully animated.
Interesting choice.
I just hate musicals.
When you hear Bible mixed with musical and Disney-style animation,
it took so long for me to realize that was
but the Prince of Egypt was actually
the biblical story.
It wasn't telling the exact same story.
You couldn't make a biblical movie nowadays, like DreamWorks or Disney or anything like that.
In my opinion, is a very underrated animated film. But still, which one holds?
It's underrated. That's why I don't know about it, right?
Classic or the anime reimagining? Well, let's dive right into the land of milk and honey. That would be nice, but I'm talking about the movies.
Not Combi.
This is old versus new. 10 Commandments versus the Prince of Egypt.
Also, there is a charity shout out in this video. Whatever this video makes the first day, I'll donate to the charity at the beginning of next week's video, like I did today with the Prince of Egypt from last week. That video was performing really well. Actually, I should probably check analytics. I haven't actually looked at it. How do you exactly compare? I've never done one of his like versus videos, so this is going to be interesting for me.
Someone to play one of the most holy people in all of the Bible.
Moses.
So we'll just settle for the human from Planet of the Apes and Iceman from Top Gun. So let's take a look at Best Moses.
Best Moses. Let's say one of my videos copyright claim. I don't know who is the best Moses.
Like many of the elements in this comparison, these two performances couldn't be
I thought a video got copyright claim and I didn't know about it.
Moses is very much like a prodigy, even before he speaks with God.
Let your own image proclaim my loyalty for 1,000 years.
Probably longer.
By force that he has earned by deeds.
Where Val Kilmer's Moses is seen much more as the everyman, the person who fell into his leadership rather than seeking it out.
I was the Prince of Egypt, the son of the man who slaughtered their children. You've chosen the wrong messenger.
Why did he wait so long to do the Prince of Egypt video?
Both do very well and convey exactly what they need to convey. So really it just depends on which Moses you like better, the everyman or the Superman.
I wonder which one he thinks is better.
I enjoy Heston's performance a little more. The reason being that he has an unbelievable amount of confidence. When you see Heston as the Prince of Egypt, you immediately want to be like him.
1956.
Strong and powerful, but also kind and wise.
I warn you, Moses, that the temple grain belongs to the gods.
What the gods can digest will not sour in the belly of a slave.
Everything he says has such weight to it. He was destined for greatness even before he found his true calling. If you were told this guy was going to be your leader, you'd follow him in a heartbeat. Okay, you'd recommend a good hair salon first, but you would follow.
Good old barber.
City is built of brick, Pharaoh. The strong make many, the starving make few. The dead make none.
The animated Moses starts out more like
a pretty crazy saying.
Man, like a college student who crashed his dad's car.
Father, the fault is mine. I goaded Ramesses on, and so I am responsible.
Goaded?
This isn't bad, though, as it shows by the end just how far he's come in leadership. I guess in a way you could argue that this makes him more human. And again, there's nothing wrong with it, as Moses was human. Or
fair.
Was he?
I'm pretty sure... Oh, he's an alien? So he built the pyramids too?
But Heston I found was just more interesting because you feel like there was a greatness in him from the start. And when you see it realized, it's all the more influential. Though granted, his speech can at times be a little stilted and, dare I say it, preachy.
It's just old stuff like this just doesn't... I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. Maybe it's a low resolution.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Biatch.
Both do very well, but I think Heston gets the point in this round. Even though Kilmer's is more human and sympathetic, Heston sort of represents the will and strength that all good people can possess. And that's pretty hard to
But also, one's a voice actor, one's
he's the only Moses
like,
where you actually know his
actor,
last name.
You know.
Oh, Moses, 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 Moses.
I went and saw Mario yesterday.
I bet you didn't know Moses' last name was also Moses, did you?
Just like Mario,
Just
is
like
Mario.
That other movie.
Mario and Luigi Mario.
Yep. I saw the Mario movie yesterday.
Point goes to 10 Commandments.
I didn't mean
That's funny.
cause you more pain.
It's actually pretty good. I actually got a lot of references, which is kind of crazy. 10 Commandments.
But what about the villain? Ramesses is one of the greatest villains of all time. But did you know that him and Moses were brothers?
Well, kind of. Yeah, adopted, but yeah.
Oh, you didn't know that. Sorry, I didn't know. This is the best Ramesses.
You didn't know? Sounds like me. You gotta give it to the Prince of Egypt. I don't even know what the other one is, but the Prince of Egypt, Ramses?
Again, these two are very
so
different
good.
performances.
The
Your brother
expressions.
plays Ramesses as very cold-hearted, caring nothing for his brother or anyone else except his legacy.
And here is your kingdom. With the scorpion, the cobra, and the lizard for subjects. Free them if you will. Leave the Hebrews to me.
While Ray Fiennes plays Ramesses as a product of his environment.
I don't think I've done an Adam
Touch of Soul,
Sandler
who
movie
still
by
loves his
Nostalgia Critic
brother,
yet.
But is also under the psychological grip of his overbearing father.
One weak link can break the chain of a mighty dynasty. I will not be the weak link.
Because of this, the Ramesses in Prince of Egypt comes across as more tragic. You know why he's making his
so
decisions and how much it destroys him inside to declare war on his own brother.
Why can't things be the way they were before?
Things got complicated.
Look at this scene, for example. This is one of the best bits of animation I've ever seen. It's just as Moses tells Ramesses that he hasn't returned to be his brother, but rather he's returned to be his enemy. The whole gamut of emotions is rampant.
Bold.
I can no longer hide in the desert while they suffer. At your hands.
You're the
Sadness,
fault.
Anger, regret, frustration, and vengeance.
All
in
in one
just
scene.
40 seconds. That's pretty impressive. The Ramesses in 10 Commandments is good too,
That hair
but
is
in a
something
different
else.
way. He's likable because of how despicable he is. He's cunning, he's manipulative, and he doesn't care who knows it. Just look at how he talks to the woman who will one day be his wife.
I could never love
Oh.
Does that matter? You will be my wife. You will come to me whenever I call you.
Jesus.
I will enjoy that very much.
What a dickhole. There's great
Wow.
passion and rage that's brought out of this performance, but still, I gotta say Ray Fiennes' version is better. He's simply more complex and sympathetic, but he can also be just as menacing as well.
With the dead kid.
There shall be a great cry in all of Egypt, such as never has been or ever will be again.
It's a juicy
know
form
what
right
that
out of
means.
Shakespeare, and he's portrayed just perfectly. They pull you into the drama by pulling us into
he's absolutely gonna win this one.
Having to choose between family and legacy. Just about everything you could possibly want in a character is in this performance. And I think that's more than point-worthy.
Oh, yeah.
Point goes to Prince of Egypt.
I don't even know what to think.
Does that matter?
I didn't even know anything about him, but I just knew that Ramses in Prince of Egypt was phenomenal.
Now comes the real hard part, the supporting cast. Both these films had a gigantic cast of celebrities, and all of them were absolutely wonderful.
Did they?
Which one was better?
I bet you I don't know many of them out of the 10 Commandments because they're old. Okay, I'm gonna need some names here. Best. Oh, okay, it's just those two. I thought it was gonna be like
starstruck. Both these movies had a bajillion celebrities in their lineup. 10 Commandments had Edward G. Robinson, Vincent Price, Ann Baxter, John Carradine, and that's just to name a few. Prince of Egypt had Patrick Stewart, Jeff Goldblum, Sandra Bullock, Michelle Pfeiffer. Again,
never heard
that's
of her,
just to name a few.
The other three I did.
Which cast was better? Well, again, they're very different. Prince of Egypt has fewer cast
Jeff
members,
Goldblum.
but they're given much more development. Miriam and Aaron, for example, are fleshed out much more as Moses' real brother and sister. And Moses' wife, Zipporah, is given a lot more screen time as well, having them meet before he actually leaves his crown. Since 10 Commandments is longer, they're allowed to look at even more characters. Like
isn't it like over 3 hours long?
We never even saw a son in Prince of Egypt, unless he was somewhere in the back. The slimy servant of Ramesses isn't in Prince of Egypt either, unless you count Steve Martin and Martin Short as the high priest. Ramesses' wife, who's one of the most interesting characters in the movie, is left out of Prince of Egypt too. What's the better payoff then? Is it good to have fewer characters and more development, or the other way around? Well, for the most part, 10 Commandments comes off as stronger because even though they have more characters, they have great actors to portray them. Because of this, the relatively short scenes still get across how sympathetic or unsympathetic
short scenes in a movie that's over 3 hours long.
Moses Murders is much more satisfying when you see that it's Vincent Price playing him. You instantly see scumbag, and he doesn't even have to do that much. That's just the power of Vincent Price.
Dive-bombed?
You make no outcry, Joshua. But you will. You will cry for the mercy of death.
From all humiliation and discomfort.
The same can be said for Edward G. Robinson. Look how cocky he is in revealing the secret of Moses' past. Even with a sword up to his throat, he has nothing to fear.
That's fair.
The deliverer is Moses.
Shout out to Angel Estrada, becoming a $3 patron. Thank you. Get all my videos there early now. I think it's Angel.
I will pay you a price.
And like I said, they're not all given small roles. Ramesses' wife is very complex, choosing between the man she loves and the man she marries, only to find her life destroyed by Moses and left with the emptiness of her vengeful husband. Look at this scene. He's about to cut her to ribbons after failing to get Moses until...
Before you strike.
With a sword.
Show me his blood on your sword.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, this is like, why didn't you kill him? Yeah.
Bastard can't even do it.
Exactly.
Maybe he's ashamed of his failure. Maybe he just figures it's crueler to leave her alive. But he knows
she's
that
like, yeah,
killing her
you didn't
will bring him nothing.
He's like, you had a chance, but you didn't.
So simple and yet so complex can cause such a reaction. And I think that's what makes 10 Commandments stand out more. The harshness. They portray a world that's advanced but also savage.
Also, they're humans instead of, like, actual actors instead of animation, so...
A world that needs a savior like Moses.
Kind of not fair, almost,
you
know?
get some of that harshness in Prince of Egypt with Steve Martin and Martin Short, but they seem out of place. It's a little too gimmicky and, for lack of a better word, cartoony.
You're in trouble, young man.
Get down here.
Yeah. My new thing.
Cast is still sympathetic, but this cast is just so fascinating in how cutthroat they are. They get across a lot with very little. And even though I still love the cast in Prince of Egypt, the cast in 10 Commandments is just darker and more interesting. Point goes to the 10 Commandments.
Okay, so it's 2-1. I don't know what the different categories he's gonna have is. Like, cause I've never watched one of these versus videos before. I think it'd be actually really cool if he just did videos like that. Probably good for comment engagement.
God. I am going to judge God. Balls to the wall, people. This is the best God.
Which God is the best God? We're judging God. That is new. That's meta, I guess.
So, yeah, I'll admit, it's a little weird comparing gods. As opposed to like before, it just sort of depends on your interpretation. Are you a God-fearing fan or a not God-fearing fan? As far as the story goes, the 10 Commandments God is probably the one most people would think about when hearing it. I mean, this is the god who sent flaming hail, constant darkness, and killed all the firstborns. In short, this was a badass god. So they provided him with a deep, badass voice.
What is the...
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Do this in my name, or you will get a cap in your ass. Seriously, you're like a bug. I could just be like, and you're gone. Don't mess it up. I am badass god.
Apparently, the Helsing Altar Bridge god was based off of the Prince of Egypt god.
People have favored over the past several years.
Take the staff in your hand, Moses. With it, you shall do my wonders.
In my opinion, the Prince of Egypt god is a little more clever and well thought out. Just look at the burning bush. It looks like something
and all the
not
colors,
of this world, but also something that
orange and blue.
And comforting. The one in the Ten Commandments looks more like a cartoon than, well, the actual cartoon. It also makes the clever choice of having the voice of Moses be the voice of God. You can read a lot into
the voice of Moses is the voice of God? Excuse me?
Why?
I am that I am.
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
The one in Ten Commandments
again
is a deep traditional booming
You're
voice that, while impressive, doesn't sound that lovely.
Oh, Helsing Altar Bridge.
Like I said, as the story of smoting goes, this god is probably closer to what most people think of. But the soft, kind god is a much more interesting contrast, and you still feel the size and divinity when he appears. I know it comes down to personal preference, but this god simply seems more like the god of love and peace than this one does. Point goes to the Prince of Egypt.
Which, I mean, that's a real subjective category. You could either go either way. So now it's 2-2. Next one. Which is gonna be...
It's all tied up and we come down to the most important element, the story. This is Story for the Win.
Is it the same story, or is it just how it's told? I guess it's just how it's told. That cover art's sick.
Now, logically, you would think that because Ten Commandments is longer, it has more time to tell a better, complex story. But let's really look at this. Ten Commandments is a complex story with a lot of drama going on, but there's several things they overlooked. For example, it seems to forget that Moses and Ramesses grew up together. That they were technically brothers. I know they're trying to portray Ramesses as the bad seed, but if you were never told that these two were brothers, you probably never would have guessed it.
True.
There's no love in their eyes, no memory of the good times that they had.
It's
when Moses shows up after
just
years
that tough
of being
brotherly
gone,
love
Ramesses
kind of deal.
is just like, whatever, piss off. In Prince of Egypt, the heart of the entire story is around the fact that they're brothers. When Moses arrives, he has no idea how Ramesses is going to react. And he reacts like any brother would.
Moses!
So happy.
The focus of the story seems to be on their relationship, and it really works. You feel the pain both of them are going through, and how much they wish they could return to what they had. This makes the drama much more interesting. I also like how more visual Prince of Egypt is. I mean, yeah, Ten Commandments looks unbelievable, but Prince of Egypt really used the visuals to its advantage. Not just because it's animated, but because they also do things differently. Like, compare these scenes back to back, where Moses tells his wife about seeing God. The original is done very well, and a lot of it is portrayed just through Charlton
I would be
Heston's
shook
expressions.
too.
But in Prince of Egypt, there's no dialogue at all. I like that you have to guess exactly
how
what
excited
he's telling
he is.
her. The music almost tells the story for us, and her reaction of taking it all in is just perfect. You really feel the emotion.
Just sits down.
There's also some scriptural problems the Prince of Egypt works with too.
Like
in Ten Commandments, Moses turns his staff into a snake, but then the high priest do the exact same thing. Isn't the idea in both the Bible and this movie that there's only one God?
Yeah.
How do they change those things then? Is it Insta-snake, just add water?
Just add water in the desert?
It's a bit more clever. All the tricks that the priests perform are done with smoke and mirrors. There's a blinding light when the staffs are transformed, so you could make the argument that they switched them while nobody
Oh, they
can
absolutely
see.
did.
Now that's a really clever way out. The songs themselves surprisingly really help to tell the story too. Not only do they move it along, but they also show what the characters are going through, as well as enhance both the joy and suffering that everyone has to deal with. Though I will admit at times they do seem a little sporadic.
Oh. He can sing.
Dude, all the firstborns are dead. Can you lay out the show tunes?
Oh yeah, that
Don't
was.
get me wrong, the
Oh
expressing of
yeah,
emotions in
when
Ten
they're all
Commandments is
dead
good
and she
too,
just starts
but at
singing like,
times it
no, no, no,
seems
give me
a
5,
little
give me 5.
soap-opera-ish. I mean,
This
yeah,
is what
this
it sounds
is
like.
heavy-duty
That was the
stuff
joke
that
he
they're
made.
dealing with, but something about the way they hold themselves and speak to one another does seem like a bit much.
Forgive me, Biffy.
What is her name? One Moses to live? Oh, one
And
Moses
yes,
live.
Prince of Egypt does have this problem sometimes too. There's just some moments that feel really forced. Like the comedy in the first half of the movie.
smiley
It
face.
never really feels that natural.
Father will kill me. Don't worry. Nobody will even notice us coming in.
Yeah, they will. Hey, I think they noticed him.
Nobody will even notice.
Nope, nobody noticed.
The best comedic moments were the ones that actually added to the drama. Like the desperation in Goldblum's voice as Aaron while trying to stop his sister from revealing who they really are.
You must know.
Be careful, slave.
Oh,
Slave.
my good prince. She's exhausted from the day's work. Not that it was too much. We quite enjoyed it, but she's confused.
But even the bad comedy helps generate the kind of corniness of nostalgia. And let's be honest, nostalgia can be corny. It's a pleasant time you want to return to where everything seems simpler.
Which is what I take a lot of people through when I'm reacting to videos. Like old videos like this.
A few corny moments in Ten Commandments just come out as corny, and don't really add anything in the long run. The corniness comes from how overdramatic it is, not how funny it's trying to be. Because of this, surprisingly, the animated musical seems to be the more dramatic film. Does it
Which
have
is
problems?
crazy.
Sure.
But
Are
also
there
it's
elements from the
newer.
original that are better?
There's 40
Absolutely.
years.
But on the whole, Prince of Egypt knew that the focus had to be on the brothers. That's where the drama comes from, and that's where the most interesting conflict takes place. They knew that that was the most fascinating element. That's where people could sympathize the most. It makes us realize why the story is so good. It brings out good characters, from good writing, from a good story. So, it turns out the winner is Prince of Egypt, the superior.
I'm not surprised. It's a lot newer.
Turn from thy fierce wrath, O Lord.
But also, for it to overcome Ten Commandments, which is like one of those, sometimes people are just like, oh, everything is so good all because they have nostalgic memories. Like how everybody talks about Michael Jordan being the GOAT, when statistically he's
what you were
not.
saying about me being a loving god or a
If you look at it
vengeful god.
statistically.
Yeah?
You were wrong. I'm a vengeful god.
Oh.
Oh.
Your ass is grass.
Oh. Well, maybe you shouldn't judge a god.
I'm the nostalgia critic guy.
I won't be
remember,
back.
So you don't have to.
Smite. Walk off camera, just a flash of lightning. Yep. He tried to do a escape. Written, performed, and edited by Doug. Was his brother not helping him at this point? Oh, all the clips from other movies. Super Mario Bros. Yep. That guy with glasses. What's the little thing gonna be?
Oh, Moses.
Oh, Jesus. That's something. Oh, okay, so that was old versus new, Ten Commandments. It was a highly liked comment on last week's video, which was the Prince of Egypt. You can check my reaction. That's going to be not up there, but it's going to be down below in the comment section. No, it's going to be in the description. It's also going to be placed on my channel. I upload a lot of videos. This is the 7th video I've recorded today. I got to record one more video, then I got to edit some videos, and then I got to make some thumbnails. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. It was certainly interesting to see old versus new, and I actually learned about the Ten Commandments in this because I have obviously never seen the Ten Commandments. I knew about it because I grew up going to church and whatnot, but like I knew the story. It's just, I don't know why it took me so long to put together that the Prince of Egypt was like a biblical story. I don't know. When I just see an animated movie that came out like 20 or so years ago, I don't think, oh, that's a biblical story, because that's unheard of. I know like there's video games and some movies that come out like that are about Jesus and stuff like recently, but not on the scale of DreamWorks or Disney and stuff like that, and Pixar, not on that level. You definitely would never see Disney doing something like that, but I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully I made it time a little better. I hope you subscribe to some of these future videos. I'm going to get another cameo from Doug Walker for the 100th Nostalgia Creek video, which is going to be Battlefield Earth, but I hope to see you there. But until then, take care, and keep the music.
your place.